Welcome to To Be Continued. We're your host. I'm Christian.
How'd you do that? They don't want to hear you scream. It's not Halloween.
Why are you
Take the
yelling
mask
at
off.
us?
Stop yelling at us.
Restart! Sheesh!
One take.
3, 2, 1. Welcome to To Be Continued. We're your host. I'm Christian.
I'm Caleb.
And in today's episode, we're going to be doing our Super Bowl predictions. As you can tell, we have a Rams fan here and 2 guests.
I'm Riley.
I'm back.
What's up, back?
All right, Jordan. Anyway, today's episode, we're going to be going over not only just doing our predictions, but we will have a little bit of a discussion. It's going to be different than most of our other predictions, but
It's a real podcast with real hosts, real guests. Not this guy.
anyway.
Am I the real host?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, obviously.
Anyway, Ezra, we'll allow you to go first with who you think's winning. Give us a why, give us a score.
You want to hear all of it?
I want to hear all of it.
All right. My take for this game. Rams are winning. All right, I'm putting it out there. Here's why. They got a stacked roster. I mean, just full of stars. If it was Madden, they all have the X factor of the star when you're playing with them. They made some great additions middle of the season. And you look at the Bengals roster, yeah, they got Burrow, Chase, the kicker guy, McPherson. They got Reeder on the defense. But other than that, they've been inconsistent all year. They came into the playoffs, what seed were they? Fourth? Yeah, they're playing the Ravens and Browns all year and the Steelers. Anyway.
Swept them.
Had a 10-7 record
Yeah.
during the regular season.
What was the Rams?
12-5.
Well, a lot better. A lot better.
And played in the best division in football.
Yeah. Anyway,
3 playoff teams.
the Rams also on their loaded roster of stars. All those stars, they're hungry veterans, I mean, you got Ramsey, Donald, Stafford, Von Miller, OBJ, Cooper Kupp. He ain't been balling for no reason. He's got God on his side, as we all should.
That's right.
Yeah. Yep.
God's definitely more important, but,
Yep.
Leonard Floyd.
Yeah. They've got,
Andrew Whitworth. Can't forget him.
old Andy.
Oldest active player left now that Brady stepped down.
That's right. So they want to win. They're
Now
not
that
losing
Stafford
the
ended
game.
Brady's career.
They got retirement in their future. None of them are the next Bradys. No, they ain't staying for 44. They got a way better defense than the Bengals do. That's just obvious. They got Donald on the line. They've got Gaines. They've got, just everybody you need.
Future in-law.
That's right.
Greg Gaines. We got to get you a Gaines jersey.
As much as people have been critiquing McVay here recently, he's got more experience in the playoffs, and he's had a Super Bowl under his belt. Just the most boring Super Bowl you probably ever watched.
Yeah. Didn't end well, but
I didn't even finish watching it, to be honest with you.
I wish I hadn't finished watching it.
And what do you got? Zach Taylor, what's it, second year, first year head coach?
Third.
Third. Yeah, I haven't paid attention to the Bengals. Anyway,
There was no reason to.
yeah,
It's true.
exactly.
It's true. Till now, of course.
Bengals, they don't got a good offensive line either. And you got superstars coming at you the whole game. And old cripple knee Burrow back there running for his life. And he don't got the arm talent as Mahomes has to be diving, laying flat on the ground, making 40-yard dimes like Mahomes had to do last year.
Or Stafford.
Yeah, Stafford's the original. He's the OG. He's
Yeah.
just been on Detroit his whole
Yeah,
career.
people didn't care what he did.
They got home field advantage. And, listen, this is the kicker, literally. Matt Gay.
Ezra is picking the Rams because he loves Matt Gay.
Well,
Well, partially.
you could say that. Anyway, my score prediction, I've thought long and hard about this.
You can't
This is
think.
actually my first time thinking
We're
about
not
it.
talking.
I got 34-21 Rams. It's going to be
Solid score.
close in the beginning, but second half, Rams are pulling away.
Respect it.
Yeah, I like that because the Bengals have done a lot of their good work in the second half. And I just feel like the Rams are too good of a team that if they don't play well in the first half, it's over.
Well, the Rams can't get comfortable even if they do
Yeah.
get lead and play safety deep.
But I just got the feeling that
Pedal to the metal.
McVay's probably talked to his mentor, Bill Belichick, and he's told him, like, bro, keep the pedal on. Watch their practice.
Choke them out.
Videotape their calls. No, just kidding.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I agree. I'm with you. It's a good, solid pick.
So Riley, what's your prediction for this game?
Well, I won't say who I think's going to win or what I think the score is till the end, but I'm going to put out my points of why I think it. So obviously you got Matthew Stafford. He's the number 3 quarterback with passing yards on the season with 4,886. Okay? But then you got Joe Mixon, who's number 3 rushing yards with 1,205, which isn't a lot. I mean, it's a lot, but like it's a big step from his 428 last season.
Yeah.
So, but then you got Jamar Chase, who's the rookie of the year. And then you got Cooper Kupp, 2 amazing receivers. Cooper Kupp with almost 2,000 receiving yards is the number 1 receiver this year. Cincinnati has number 3 and number 5 players in the sacks and playoffs with Sam Hubbard and Trey Hendrickson. But the Rams defense, they have the third most most yards prevented in like the playoffs. And they have an amazing defensive line and amazing secondary. They're not like, nobody can sleep on the Rams defense. But the most passing yards, the most passing yards is the Bengals, and then they have the 3 most like sacks in playoffs and the best turnover differential in playoffs. So I think in my heart I know the Rams are going to win, but sleeping on Joe Shiesty has gone bad 3 times in a row.
Do it at your own peril.
Listen, it's gone bad 3 times in a row. So I think the
prefer-
Bengals.
Joe Ryan. He's the next Matt Ryan.
Oh my goodness gracious! This kid,
This guy.
this guy.
I think the Bengals got the W. I'm going to say that on the podcast so that I can't be the one sleeping on him. But I think it's going to be close. I think it's 35-31.
So your gut tells you the Rams are going to win, but your heart is not wanting to abandon Joe Burrow.
Can't abandon. Man, I
Sounds
slept
like
moment
a
of
bandwagon to me.
I slept on Joe Burrow against the
Yeah.
Raiders, and I slept on him against the Titans. And then I watched him play against the Chiefs, and I realized that he knows what he's doing,
Hey,
man.
Caleb can relate to you on the Raiders and Titans.
Now, I didn't really think that the Bengals were significantly better. I didn't think the Bengals were worse than the Raiders. I just picked them. I've said before, and I said it because you picked the Bengals to win, so I picked the Raiders to lose or Raiders to win because I didn't want to just be a yes man to you. We got to make it interesting. So I got to be my own man. And if Derek Carr can just punch it in from the 10, we're having a totally different discussion right now.
Yep.
Exactly.
The Chiefs are on their way to the Super Bowl because they just rolled over the Titans
Exactly.
or the Raiders, whoever happened to get in there.
But, I think the Rams they have amazing receivers. They have amazing defensive line compared to the Bengals offensive line. But I think Joe Burrow is going to go in there, and he's definitely not going to let it go easily. I think he's definitely going to try his hardest out there. And honestly, if the Rams like break that offensive line down, but they leave too much space for him, he's going to run. He's going to go. And there's just no way for them. Like, there's no way to know what Joe Burrow's going to do because he's just different every week.
I agree with you.
I'll take a complete team full of proven stars over a
I'm not giving my pick
a
here.
one
but I will say
half-sided
this.
team.
I mean, the best quarterback
Well,
in
here's
history.
the thing.
You can never.
Young guys.
It's any given Sunday
Yeah.
for a
I
reason.
think they're stars.
You can't ever count a team out just because their talent says better. I mean, just look at 2007. 18-0 Patriots, 10-6.
But we knew going into that game they were a bad matchup. We knew going in that even though the Patriots were a better team, the Giants were a bad matchup for them. This is the opposite.
It's like the Steelers
This is
last year.
everybody knows that the Rams are a better team and the Rams are a bad matchup for the Bengals.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, what's your prediction with this game?
all right. Did you give your
Yeah, you did.
score?
Yeah,
you gave your score.
35-31.
Okay. So here's my thing. Like, Joe Burrow he's not a runner. He's not a fast guy, but he's very good in the pocket. He maneuvers the pocket well.
He's got awareness.
But he's facing a whole new animal this week. He's not facing
Couple of 'em.
these old men in Kansas City. Kansas City had a decent little pass rush. They got Chris Jones. They got some good power rushers and whatnot. But the Rams have Von Miller and Leonard Floyd, who are just freak athletes, both of them, especially Von Miller. And in the playoffs, there's just nothing like it. He is unbelievable.
Von Miller in the playoffs is lethal.
Strip sack.
And not to mention, that's just the two guys on the outside. We're not even talking yet about Aaron Donald, the best defensive player in football,
Maybe
Yeah.
history.
maybe the best defensive player in history. There's a conversation between him and Lawrence Taylor, but if Aaron Donald stays at this level for 5 more years or so, there's not going to be a conversation
Yeah.
anymore. So Aaron Donald is legit, and he's motivated. Like, if you listen to him talk coming into this game, he knows that the one thing missing from my resume is the Super Bowl. And we had the one chance, and we let it get away. And this time, it means a lot. And I think this team is motivated. I think this defense is – they really have come together towards the end of the season. And you make a good point about Joe Mixon, but the 49ers are one of the best running teams in the league. The Rams held them to 51 yards.
Yeah.
A'Shawn Robinson has been a difference maker because he is a monster on the defensive line. If you talk about those guys on the ends and Aaron Donald, then all of a sudden you're putting a mauler in the middle of him, and A'Shawn Robinson, if he plays a complete game, like, that defensive line is unbeatable. We're not even talking about Greg Gaines
Yeah,
or
he
Sebastian
flies under the
Joseph Day,
radar.
who's coming back, probably.
Is Henderson coming back?
Henderson is probably also coming back. So they're going to have all 3 backs back. And McVay says he's going to ride the hot hand, so that's probably going to mean Sony Michel's going to get the bulk of the carries because he's a clutch guy.
Well, Cam Akers runs hard, and he punishes you. Try to tackle.
He does. He just I've got a hard time trusting him after trying to give Tom Brady another week of NFL life. But yeah, I just think, and I think what we're going to see here, like the Bengals, I think have a really bright future. Joe Burrow's legit. They're young. The whole team is young.
Yes.
And I'm not saying that in a negative way to say they're going to lose because they're young. No, I mean, they're going to be good for a while. They're not going anywhere. But I just think this year, again, like, we're treating the Bengals because the Bengals are hot, and sometimes you got to ride the hot hand. Sometimes a team is just a team of destiny. But they were 10-7 in the regular season. It's not like we're talking about a team that went 13-4 or 14-3 or anything like that. They were a better than average team in the regular season. And Joe Burrow was good. He was really good all regular season. He's been really good in the postseason. But, well, maybe not really. He's been good enough in the postseason to win. But he's been turning to his, like, they've won those games because the defense has been on the field. They won against the Chiefs when Patrick Mahomes threw the interception. And for some reason, they wouldn't just throw it short to Tyreek Hill and just let somebody try to tackle him. No one in the NFL can do it, but they won't run that play when it matters. Or Travis Kelce.
All the Chiefs had to do was hit the
What are
field
you
goal before
doing?
half?
Yeah, or that.
Yeah.
There's just, come on, guys. And the Titans had all the chances in the world. Tannehill gave the ball away 3 times. And the Raiders, again, they were at the 10. So the Bengals could have easily lost all 3 of those games, but they didn't. So you got to give them that. And so that does make me a little bit nervous, knowing Matt Stafford's history for doing questionable things, because that defense has been opportunistic. They've taken advantage. When the ball goes up in the air, they've made the plays. But the 49ers made a good interception on Stafford that when the Rams looked like they were running down for a touchdown, looked like they were going to control the game, and then Stafford turns it right over. And Stafford almost did throw it to Tart, and he didn't catch it.
Yeah.
So that does make me a little bit nervous. But I think what we're going to see here is we're going to see a replay of that Panthers-Broncos Super Bowl where everybody came in riding high on Cam Newton for good reason.
Yeah.
And he just couldn't do anything. And another good example, I think, is last year's Super Bowl. Last year, Patrick Mahomes, who I think is the best quarterback in the NFL, couldn't do anything because he had no time.
He was doing things his receivers weren't catching.
Yeah, and he was playing with a third string offensive line for the most part.
Yeah, he was.
And he was hurt. And I think you're going to see something similar with the Rams. I think the Rams are going to come out hungry. They hear all these people talking about the Bengals. They hear all this talk about how great the Bengals are. Jalen Ramsey's reading those press clippings about the matchup between him and Chase, or, nobody can cover Chase. All right. So I think the Rams are going to win, and I think they're going to win convincingly. And I think the score is going to be, I'm going to say it's going to be 41-20. I think the Rams are going to set a playoff record for sacks in this game.
I think, well, I might agree with you on there with the sacks, but I think that if the Rams go up a big lead in the first half, that it might be looking bad for the Rams in the second half, because the Chiefs went up a big lead on the Bengals and then threw it away because they don't know how to keep pressure up. The
Yeah.
Rams look like they also don't know how to keep pressure up when it comes to getting big leads. So I don't. But the only thing that the Rams have going for them is the last time Von Miller was in the Super Bowl, he won Super Bowl MVP.
And you also got the Rams are like unbeatable when they run the ball.
Yeah, I was about to
and when
say
they can run the ball well, and they've ran the ball 2 weeks in a row. Not the best, but they've ran it enough against the Bucks and the Niners, which both have phenomenal run defenses.
Sets up their passing game, too.
Yeah.
Hey, McVay, he got back to what he's saying he needed to do. Get motion involved, get to running the football. When he does that, the offense looks great. Now, all three of you make good points. The Rams, I see why you guys picked them. I understand why you picked the Bengals. But I've been going back and forth on this for about 2 weeks. I went back, I watched all their games from this prior season. And here's my problem. This is why I'm going to go with the Rams, ultimately why I'm going with the Rams.
Do that.
I really did watch all the games, by the way. I'm not lying to you about that.
You need to find yourself a girl, mate.
Anyway, but here's why I'm picking the Rams. And you brought up the Titans game. I thought you were about to steal my pick right there. When we watched that divisional round game, the Bengals could never get anything going. And they were getting sacked play after play. They could never get offense going. They only won because Evan McPherson might be the greatest rookie kicker of all time.
And Ryan Tannehill.
Ryan Tannehill, that's the other point. All Matthew Stafford has to do is not be Ryan Tannehill. But this is another thing this is why I'm also might be leaning Bengals. I think if the Rams are going to win, it's going to have to be in convincing fashion. Because if you're telling me it's 24-24 late, let's say that's a hypothetical, and Joe Burrow has the ball 2.5 minutes left, or if you give that the same situation to Stafford, I trust Joe Burrow more in that situation than I do Stafford at this point.
Well, Burrow hasn't had to do that. And Stafford has, and he's done it.
Stafford just did it against the greatest quarterback of all
Yeah.
time.
Jimmy Garoppolo?
He just snatched the heart out of Tom Brady and
Okay,
the
he did that
Bucks.
to
Dude,
Tom Brady.
that
yes,
was-
yes.
It looked
I
like the
was
Rams were
like-
getting ready to lose that game, and then he just threw the most perfect clutch deep ball I've ever
He's been
seen.
clutch
But
his
what
whole
about last
career.
game?
He's
See,
just
but yeah,
been in
that's what I was about
Denver.
to say.
I mean,
He almost gave it away to the
Detroit.
49ers.
He's
But he
given-
didn't.
He had some of them Detroit roots come back.
And then he
almost
came
threw it
back on
away.
the very next play and threw a dime
Because
and changed the game.
it's a one-play game. In the NFL, if you miss a play, the team's going to make a play. It's how it goes. Look at the 2011 Super Bowl between the Patriots and the Giants. Asante Samuel had the interception off Eli Manning right there. What happens? He drops the pick. What happens after that? Eli Manning goes right down the field. Actually, the very next play, he throws it right to Mario Manningham. They go in, score a touchdown. Brady gets the ball back, has to do a Hail Mary, and they lose. It's as easy as that. But another reason I'm picking the Rams is you got to score touchdowns to beat. You got to score touchdowns to beat the Rams, right? In the regular season, Bengals were a top 10 red zone team. In the past 3 games, the Bengals have scored 6 touchdowns. That's it. You're not going to beat teams only scoring that many times in a touchdown. I mean, because every red zone possession, more than likely, you're forcing them to a field goal.
Defense
And-
wins
yeah.
championship.
And I don't agree with you when you say the Rams' defense is exceptionally better than the Bengals, because the Rams have talent on defense, yes. But the Bengals have talent on defense as well. Now, the only thing they need to make sure they don't do is don't line Cooper Kupp next to Eli Apple, or there's going
Doesn't matter who you line up next to Cooper Kupp. He is
Yeah,
unstoppable.
You can't stay hot all
I
season
think
long like he
what they
has.
need to do is try and get some sort of double coverage going
Just
on Cooper
zone.
Kupp. Or zone. They could zone because that's what
It's
they did.
so
on-
hard though
They
because
can't-
Kupp
See, but-
is so smart. He's going to
See, but
find
that's
the
what they
hole.
did. Oh, exactly,
Him and
but-
Stafford have been eating breakfast today. Every morning it's usually 7. I bet this week for Super Bowl prep they've been up at 6 a.m.
Yep.
watching tape. All right,
See,
where are
but
we going to
the
find the
Bengals,
holes here? Where do we
everybody
want to
thought
attack?
that- Everybody thought that with Tyreek Hill and Patrick Mahomes. Everybody's like, they're a great combo together and they know where each other are looking. So when they came at halftime, the Bengals started running zone strictly. And they shut down the Chiefs.
But here's another thing that's interesting about this game. What coaching tree did Zach Taylor come from?
Sean McVay.
Sean McVay, yeah.
Sean McVay. How many times has the coach under that coaching tree beat his mentor
Matt LaFleur last year.
in the Super Bowl?
Oh, not in the Super Bowl.
That's,
How many?
That's a shabby stat.
That is
Seven,
because
4 times.
because what are the chances of a coach under another coach's coaching that was under another coach's
It's happened
coaching
5
tree
times.
coming together?
The
So
successor is
5
always
times.
one.
5 times out of what, like
So
50,
who are they?
54?
Do you know who are they?
So the last one that happened was hold up, I just looking at this. I'm sorry, blanking.
Look at
it.
you.
Just
Crazy
happened.
stat.
Jeez.
That's a crazy stat.
You can watch the entire season's worth of games. You can't remember them.
I can't remember this simple stat. I know. I was just reading about it. It's crazy.
Can't remember the last one.
Can't remember the last one. Wow, I'm blanking. Anyway, but I mean, this is the most recent one. I think it was 2002. Might have been the last time it happened. No,
It's been
Tony
a while.
Dungy and who's the coach that? Lovie Smith, 2006. There it is. Bears to Colts. That was the last time it happened. And another thing is, in this game, McVay, he's going to know what Zach Taylor wants to do, because Zach Taylor, basically what he did is he brought the LA offense, made some minor tweaks, and brought Cincinnati. But another thing is, when you watch Zach Taylor, you can't say, oh, it's his coaching that's winning this game. Because the Bengals, they haven't made stupid penalties, yes, but they've had some stupid play calls. I mean, there's just some play calls you watch, you're like, what are you doing, man? I mean, there was a play against the Titans, and I was just watching it, and it's crazy because Burrow steps back, and you understand that there's a pass rush. No, he doesn't even give him a check down option. All the routes they run are all 10 yards and above. 10 and 15-yard routes take time to develop. When you have no time, who are you supposed to throw it to?
And that's the one thing they have to worry about is honestly, if the Bengals keep a short pass mentality and they don't try and go for bombs down the field, they're probably going to be pretty successful in this game whether they win or lose, because they can't give the defense enough time, because that defensive line's ridiculous.
It's going to be interesting because that's what the Rams want you to do. They don't want you to throw it. Like they don't give you the choice to throw it deep, pretty much. Like they want you to throw it short,
Unless
even to
you're
the
gonna
point that it
Ramsey
drives me
safeties.
nuts.
The only thing that I like,
Yeah.
if Jamar Chase is not going to get open deep, if Jalen Ramsey's covering him, I don't think Jamar Chase is going to be able to get like really wide open for having like breakout plays like he's had all season.
Now, this is the reason, though, I don't think this year's game is going to be like last year's Super Bowl, because he brought up last year's Super Bowl, and I can see the similarities with the offensive line and everything. But there is one major difference between the Chiefs and the Bengals. When Mahomes had that entire offensive line gone, they had Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, that's it. The rest of their options couldn't show up. They didn't know what to do. The Bengals right now at this moment have better receiving options than the Chiefs did in that Super Bowl last year. T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, Jamar
Which
Chase.
one of those guys is better than Travis Kelce?
I'm not saying.
Which one of those guys is better than Tyreek Hill?
Actually, in the Super Bowl, I would actually take. It depends.
And I know I'm worried to even ask this question because it's you.
Yeah.
But do you think that Joe Burrow is better than Patrick Mahomes?
At the moment, yeah, I'm
Oh,
taking
my
Joe
goodness.
Burrow over
What?
Pat Mahomes.
You're crazy.
Oh
Nah,
my
Let me
goodness!
explain.
No.
Let me explain.
What's the
You put
explanation?
Patrick
You're a
Mahomes.
stats guy.
Wow.
Yes,
They
I'm
don't
a
compare?
stats.
Listen,
No,
listen.
they
You
do.
put Patrick Mahomes on the Bengals team right now, they're taking the Super Bowl, no doubt.
No, they're not. Here's
Yes.
why. Mahomes is too inconsistent. Mahomes doesn't have a feel the way Burrow does.
See, but he got that. See, but he got that hot
no,
hand towards the end of the
Is
season.
this what I sound like when I criticize Tom Brady?
No. When Burrow, no, let me just clarify this, ready? When Mahomes is on, he's on, yes. But when
on.
he's off, he's off. How bad was he in that second half for Cincinnati?
That's not even his fault.
How wasn't it? He was missing wide open options.
You know, when Joe Burrow threw the interception against Kansas City, if they come down and score a touchdown, it's over. Like
Yeah,
the
why
game is
did-
over.
okay, why did he-
And
why-
honestly,
So what I'm
I
saying
would
is
arguably
they're
say
making
that
mistakes.
I would arguably say that it could have been Andy Reid's fault against the Bengals.
Talent-wise.
Thank you.
Because
Mahomes
the-
is
because
You
the
can't
Bengals-
talk about
We're
Andy
talking
Reid in
about
front of Christian.
talent,
He's going to get upset.
poise.
The
Mahomes had
Bengals
more
came out of
poise.
halftime running zone strictly. All you have to do is rush Tyreek Hill down the field.
He was doing that. Mahomes couldn't hit him. Go back and watch the film. I'm begging you. Just go ahead and go back and watch the film of that game. Andy Reid was calling plays that worked. Mahomes was hesitating. Every play, he was double clutching. They were wide open. He was like, I don't know if I can make that
But see,
throw.
The only
that's the
thing-
difference between the Rams and the Chiefs.
The only reason I can give it,
Matthew Stafford's going to make that throw.
He
I
will
agree.
not hesitate.
He
and,
won't hesitate.
and Cooper Kupp. Like, there's a big difference between Cooper Kupp and Tyreek Hill.
Absolutely.
Tyreek Hill, you can't cover him because he's a physical freak.
But also,
Cooper
Tyreek
Kupp
Hill
is
has
just
bad
smart.
hands.
also Tyreek Hill or Cooper Kupp is just taller than Tyreek Hill. Like he's just physically
just
bigger,
mentally-
but he's mentally better.
On a different level.
But his hands are also
Yeah.
a lot better because
Yeah.
what we don't want to, nobody ever brings it up. I don't
Yeah,
know why.
drop that one big.
Tyreek Hill has bad hands. I mean, he's inconsistent. He doesn't have bad hands. He has inconsistent hands. Because sometimes he'll make catches that you're like, whoa. And then next play, you know, he'll have an easy 2-yard throw and it goes right through his hands.
One thing that I'm worried
Probably because
about.
it's quarterback.
One thing that I'm worried about is the Rams focusing Jamar Chase. Like I think the Rams
Don't do that.
I think the
don't
worst
have
thing
to.
that the Rams could do is focus Jamar Chase like they're talking about because
don't
you got
think
T
they will.
Higgins, you got Tyler Boyd, you got everybody else that Joe Burrow will easily throw to. But because everybody's hyping up Jamar Chase being the rookie of the year,
Yeah.
I don't want the Rams to think they have to just focus
At
him.
least we're not Chris Collinsworth. Did you guys see what Chris Collinsworth said the other day?
No.
Jamar Chase is already the best receiver in Bengals history.
Well, he's done.
He's not.
Ocho Cinco?
Ocho Cinco. I mean, AJ Green?
AJ Green?
Is he
Yeah, I
better?
forgot about AJ Green.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
like, come on, man. But
Who do you think's better, Cooper Kupp or Jamar Chase?
Cooper Kupp, is this even, Cooper
Okay,
Kupp's the
I'm
best
just
receiver in
making
football.
sure.
But
Cooper Kupp's the best receiver.
Jamar Chase, has time to develop like Cooper Kupp. Because
Yes.
Cooper Kupp Cooper Kupp's rookie season, he was good, but he wasn't like he is now. Like he developed over the years that he's been playing.
He also had Jared Goff on him.
He's gotten better every year.
Yeah, and if Jamar Chase does that, Jamar Chase could be the best receiver in football.
Well, the other thing is, the thing that's helping Jamar Chase so much coming out of college is he has a connection with this quarterback. Him and this quarterback, I mean, they are literally the younger version of Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams. They know where each other are going to be on every single play, and they know what each other's
And
thinking.
they're in a good offensive scheme for each other.
Yes.
And honestly, Zach Taylor is probably the best matchup for both of them too. The team is just really well put together, and if they can keep it until all of their players are developed enough, like players such as Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams, they'll be a menace to the entire league.
Absolutely. And another thing is with Matthew Stafford versus Joe Burrow, and this is the only thing that has me a little nervous. You can tell at all times, Joe Burrow, nobody has more confidence in Joe Burrow than Joe Burrow. Matthew Stafford, he hasn't shown it as much recently, which I will give him credit for. But there are sometimes you look at him and you can tell he is anxious and nervous.
I would argue that a lot of times Matthew Stafford has the opposite problem. He's like so confident in his arm that he throws things he shouldn't throw.
But he's also a little hurt. He's
He's
But he
got a
does
lot
that-
of.
I think he goes back and forth.
He's got a lot of Brett Favre in him.
He
I
does.
think Burrow's more cocky than he is confident.
No,
Yeah,
that
be honest.
he's definitely got he's got some cocky to him.
But he hasn't
got
had the
confidence
easiest
to
road
him.
to the NFL.
True.
He sat for a while.
He
but
definitely fought for his spot.
easy.
He's-
He had a hard road.
That's
to get to
what
the
that's what he said.
I
He said
find
he
it
didn't have an easy.
I find it weird when
Headphones.
you've got all these guys talking about how Joe Burrow plays his best in the biggest moments, and you just can't wait for the biggest moment.
He's only had
This
one.
is the biggest moment right here.
That's
Yeah,
what
he
I'm
played in the
saying.
national championship game, and that's huge. That's massive. But
The Super Bowl is the biggest moment.
he was
you're gonna
basically
get.
playing on an NFL roster against college teams. That team
Meanwhile,
was loaded.
You're a second.
Meanwhile, Matt Stafford's played on a college roster in the NFL.
Yes.
He's been balling.
and college is general.
You're a second-year quarterback in the Super Bowl. Granted, he's old. Like,
Besides
he's
Megatron.
ancient at this point, but he's a second-year quarterback in the Super Bowl. I mean, this is the biggest stage that he will be on. And there's going to be a lot of pressure on him. But you said Joe Burrow is definitely confident, and he's going to go into the game anxious. But I think as the game goes on, he'll definitely calm himself down because that's what he did against the Chiefs.
So this is why I disagree with you guys about the national championship. That take, I understand where you're coming from, but here's why I'm saying it's very similar. College football in the South, you can argue, is just as big as any NFL city with their team.
Who'd they play in that national? I don't remember.
Clemson. Everybody was like, who's going to win that game? Because it's Trevor Lawrence, Joe Burrow. And people were like, Joe, you better win because you need it for your draft stock. But it was also versus Clemson, who is, in their own right, a great roster.
Yeah.
Now, were they on the same level as LSU? Absolutely not. But when it comes down to this game, and another reason I think he's built for this moment is college stadiums fit more people than NFL stadiums do. There's more people at those games because
SoFi? It's a whole new stadium.
SoFi has more seats, yes, but they're also not as loud as college. SoFi, LA's a very
I don't know, man.
They're not-
Did you
in
see
the
him
playoffs-
against?
in
Did
the
you see him
playoffs,
against the
they're gonna play.
49ers?
They were pretty loud
They were loud.
against the 49ers, and the Rams only had like 30% of the seats.
Exactly.
This is the Super Bowl.
with home field advantage in the Super Bowl, and you even saw it last year in
Next, we're
Tampa.
playing the Wizards.
Did Tampa have the advantage last year, crowd-wise, in Tampa last year? No.
Yeah.
No, they didn't.
They played pretty
it was
comfortable.
split.
Played pretty comfortably.
They played comfortably, yes, but do they
See,
have
but-
the home field advantage? Yes, but another thing is the facilities in LA are much better than they are in Tampa.
You can't do that because Tom Brady.
US
Tom Brady loves playing with odds stacked against him. He if you watch him when he's got the odds stacked against him, he's the calmest person you'll ever
He
see.
might do it on purpose.
That's probably why he retired, because he knew everybody was calling him the GOAT, and he's like, well, if
odds are stacked against
nobody's hating on me, I'm out.
Everybody's scared to
Are
play
we
him.
sure he's going to stay retired, though? I mean, we all saw what he said this week.
Yeah, I don't know.
I would think, I bet you, if some team, like a contending team, like say Matt
He wants to
Stafford
play
gets
for one
hurt in the
team.
middle of the season.
Nope, he wants to play for one team.
No, I'm telling you. If
Oh,
Matt
I'm
Stafford gets hurt in the middle of the season, or somebody like that, a team that could literally win, but their quarterback goes down, I think he'd go. I think he'd come back.
So here's actually the team that I've heard. He wants,
49ers, yeah.
The Niners are the only team he wants to play
Okay.
for. He wants to play
Yeah,
for
but
San Francisco.
see,
That's
listen.
who- he doesn't want to play for Tampa anymore. He's
See,
done with
listen,
Tampa.
that Tampa's fine,
I think
but
he's seen enough of Matt Stafford.
listen, Aaron Rodgers.
Snatched
If
his
Aaron
soul.
Rodgers goes back to Packers, he breaks his ankle again like he did against Minnesota a couple years ago. The Packers are looking for somebody. They're just looking. They're going to go to Tom Brady, and Tom Brady's going to take it easily because he'd love to play with Devontae Adams. I mean,
But Brady has also stated, though, he doesn't want to play in the cold anymore. He's done with the cold.
Depends. If Brady's got a chance to win a championship, I think Brady would
yeah,
come back.
Brady's going to sit for 2 years, realize that he's anxious again and wants to play because he's not doing anything but
I
sitting
think he's
around.
going to pull the Weddle. Somebody's going to get their quarterback hurt like week 15. All right, I'm in. Tag me in, coach. Yeah, I got to miss all the long, hard season.
No, he's
I'm in.
going to Baltimore with AB.
He should.
without
Could you
that.
imagine him in Baltimore? I mean, that's even hard for me to like picture him in like a place like Baltimore.
No, I could see him going to the Texans.
But
They got good massage parlors, let me tell you.
Lovey Smith, you gotta love it. But I guess my score prediction for this game, and I've told you guys I've been going back and forth. If it's a close game, give me the Bengals. But I don't see it really. What I see happening is I think it's actually going to be a very close game in the first half. But I think McVay, because McVay is also a very great second half coach. Nobody's brought that point up because McVay, what's his record in the second half? Like 41-1?
When you mean when they're
Sure.
leading? Yeah.
That's what I read.
The only loss they've had is that one against the 49ers in week 18.
But that's because Kyle Shanahan's was his kryptonite.
Yeah.
As I said, was.
Not anymore, because
Not anymore,
he
that's what I
finally
said
broke that
was.
streak.
All you got to do is give Kyle Shanahan a lead late in the game,
Listen,
and you're going to find a way.
You got nervous, I know you did.
all you got to do is throw the ball to his open safeties, and then they'll drop it. And
But I see it actually being a very close game in the first half. I actually through three quarters. And what I see it being very similar to that San Francisco 49ers Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl, where the Bengals might actually take a lead late in the third quarter, and it's like 20, we'll say 21-18. And you're like, okay, they might actually have a chance. And then there's this beast known as Von Miller in the playoffs. Whenever the Rams need a play, who's always the guy that makes it in the playoffs this season?
something like Von Miller.
Von Miller or Aaron Donald.
Or
Aaron
Aaron
Donald's
Donald.
the one that was throwing down Garoppolo.
That's
for
what I'm
that
saying.
last
That's what I'm saying. The
interception.
only thing that's going to stop these Bengals is that defensive line. We're talking about the defense being good and all, but I think that defensive line is the only thing that's really
You
going
got
to
two
stop the
first
Bengals.
ballot Hall
And
of
here's the other
Famers
thing is,
right
and
there.
this is why I think I agree. This is why I have the Rams winning again. Who's the number one pass rush win rate in the league? Who has it against the pass rush? Has the number one pass rush win rate?
Definitely Rams.
Rams do. Who's the 30th worst against the pass rush? The Bengals.
Yeah.
And outside of their left tackle, Jonah Williams, he's a good left tackle. He's improving. He's young. He's actually he's their only good offensive
He's
lineman.
from Bama.
Can you even name another offensive lineman on that team? Who started?
No.
Which is why I agree with you when you say they're going to be good for many years to come once they develop their offensive line. But the only thing, if I'm a Bengals fan, I'm rooting for two things. One, keep the game close. Two, Burrow stay healthy. Because the last thing you want is Burrow to tear his ACL and be out for the game, which somebody on this podcast has said he could see happening.
See, but I think Burrow's.
That's necessarily going to be ACL. I think he's going to. I wouldn't be shocked if he was knocked out of his game because he takes a lot of hits.
Yeah.
And the Rams
But
are
he's-
going to be hitting.
He is
He's hard.
definitely like smart. He's a lot smarter than he was last season when he wouldn't slide, and then
Yeah.
like he just knows. I think he knows when to give up.
That blindside shot to the ribs, though.
With Burrow, though, can you even, this is one thing I'll give Burrow credit for, though. Can you even remember the last time you saw him take a hit and you're like, oh!
Titans game about 9
I
times.
just remember the Eagles game last year. He got
Yeah, it was definitely that.
smacked. What was
yeah.
it Hargrave hit him?
And then he said,
Welcome
hey,
to the league.
Yeah, he said, hey, and when I'm the GOAT, they'll be giving me that calls.
Yeah, it's like I don't know.
But I
Ain't
guess
the GOAT.
my final score prediction is I have the Rams winning this game 31-21.
31-21.
Whoa, you could get a little bit less away from my score.
Yeah.
Which we all have in the 30s.
Why are you just trying to steal Ezra's?
But
So
yeah,
you're
I
the only one that's picking the Bengals to win.
Yeah, but that's because I don't want to be the one that gets embarrassed
Yeah.
when Joe Burrow actually.
One of us
shows
has
up.
to be right.
It's true.
So it could
and
be
the
you.
Dolphins just hired Wes Welker,
For what, offense coordinator? Or wide receiver?
staff. That's what it
staff.
says from Bleacher
Staff.
Why would you park in the staff parking lot?
Will Smoker back to where he goes. Well, is
Yeah.
there anything anybody else would like to add on to this episode?
I think if the Rams lose this game, you're going to have to put an APB out for me because I'm going to be missing.
I think that it's honestly, it could go either way. I don't think it's definitely a definite Rams win or a definite Bengals win because the Bengals aren't obviously they're a young team, so they're not as developed as the Rams veterans are, and we pointed that out multiple times. But the Rams also like McVay, and they just like to not throw away the game, but they always like to make it close for the end. So, and I think the Bengals are great when it's close. Because their first two games, it was really close and they looked like they were playing bad. But then against the Chiefs, they were getting blown out by the half, and then they came back and beat them. So I think it's
Let's not skip past the obvious here. The Rams have a gay kicker.
But also, let's not skip past this. I mean, the Bengals have some luck. They have some
Special team.
help on their side. I mean, remember they're playing this game for who again?
Harambe.
I did see that CJ Uzoma, whatever his name is, said if they win, he's going to take a bath in Skyline Chili. So, like, I guess if the Rams lose, there is that, like, redeeming quality. Like, okay, like, at least that's happening.
I think that this is going to be one of the most interesting Super Bowls we've had in a while.
I think it should be a fun one. I really
Yeah.
do. I think that
They're
You're gonna
They're
be on
both
the edge of your
amazing
seat
teams.
like you were versus the Eagles and Patriots.
And all I'm hoping, I've told you guys this multiple times, I really could care less who wins. I'm just hoping for a close game.
I think it's
I don't want another blowout.
because we've had Super Bowls in the past
a
few
blowout
years,
this
other than
morning.
like the Eagles one. I think it's always been one really good team plays one really bad team, and then it's just not really fun.
The Chiefs-Niners Super Bowl, the Chiefs scored one late touchdown that blew up the score because that was actually like a really close game. I mean, with 2 minutes left, it was 24-20, and all Jimmy G had to do was hit Emmanuel Sanders in the chest, and we're talking as Kyle Shanahan Super Bowl champions.
Yeah.
you just hate Jimmy G. What'd Jimmy G ever do to you?
It broke my heart that Super Bowl. All right, I said that was going to be his
Oh,
rise.
it probably comes back to the hatred of Patrick
No, I
Mahomes.
think you keep making outlandish takes and believe in him.
That's
And
true.
then you just-
Hey, you got to have conviction in what you believe.
You were like in love with Jimmy G at one point this week.
And
You remember
then
that? Or not this week, this
Wentz.
season.
I do.
He played like a really good game, like one of them. And you're,
He can never choose the quarterback. That's actually good.
yeah.
He went with Wentz for 17 games.
I root for the guy that is an
Howie
underdog. Like, I
Roseman.
just want the guy to be good and they shoot
I
me in the heart.
I did
every
too. That's why I
time.
wanted the Bengals to win against the Chiefs because they were the underdog. Nobody's expected them to get this far,
only
and that's
one
why I'm
Kurt
rooting for the Bengals now. Because
But see, I don't even know how much of an underdog they are because, like, as much love and attention as they're getting, and they're
10
not
and
acting
7.
like underdogs.
they're not. They're not.
They are not acting like underdogs.
But to be honest, the Eagles weren't
That's
either.
what's
When they
gonna
got to
get
the
them.
Super Bowl, they were making fun of
They're
the
not
underdog
embracing that
claims.
role. They need to embrace the underdog role.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the last
They
team
need
to
to
embrace
believe
the
it. They don't
underdog
need to
role
just
was the
sit
Eagles
there.
in 2018 when they beat the Patriots.
I think what you don't want to do is you don't want to give the better team like bulletin board material. And I think the Bengals have done that. I think the
Bengals
Rams
have
locker
Rams be an
room.
underdog.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
How
Like,
much they're hyping them up
yeah, and I
every
think
day.
the Rams locker room is in there like, all
Burrow
right,
tweeted this
bet.
5 years ago.
Watch this.
See, but I think with the confidence that the Bengals are coming into this game with, I think that it's going to throw the Rams off because the Rams they're going to do whatever they can to stop them, and they're going to be like, why haven't the Bengals deflated yet? Like,
Well,
why are they still out here trying their hardest?
And here's another thing, though. I mean, you're
I
trying.
don't think the Bengals are going to give everything they have.
Oh, they're going to
Oh,
go.
I think they are.
They will. They will.
I think they are. This is the first Super Bowl they've ever been in.
Yeah, but this
Ever?
is
No.
Yeah.
1981, they went against the Niners. 1988, they went against the Niners. This is
Yeah.
the first Super Bowl they've been in that hasn't been against the Niners.
but
First
the
time in
Rams
either of your
have a team.
lifetimes.
Yes.
Christian knows all this stuff from
Veterans.
before his lifetime, but not yesterday.
That's
But-
true.
Who've either been in this. Let me talk, dude. This is your
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah, let our guests have some airtime.
Back to my veterans. The Rams team, they either have veterans that have been there before or have been crawling their way to get there. Coming up from bad teams, looking at we're in Super Bowl a year later.
Yeah. Weddle is literally here because he wants a chance to win a Super Bowl.
Exactly.
It's like the only reason he's here. He was having fun playing basketball with his friends. Are you texting on camera?
Stafford's proved what we all should have known all these
amateur hour.
years. That he's worthy of winning championships.
Yeah.
Team.
People
Beckham,
disrespect
everyone hated
Matthew
Beckham,
Stafford. Yep.
Saying he was wrong for saying Baker's a problem. Look at him now. Honestly, he's one of the best catchers of the ball ever. Like, you see all these guys catching it like with their body.
Your best
all his
catchers always use
catches
your hands.
are hands.
You
and
never
he's,
use the body because the
He's
pads.
made a lot of big catches.
exactly, if
He
you
has.
focus all your attention
And he's
on
a-
But so is Cooper Cup. It's pretty
Honestly,
impressive.
Beckham
Like,
can sneak
Beckham
in
is a
there.
big dude. He is a big. He's not like strong, but he is tall. And
well,
he
he's
has
been
long
saying that he
arms.
feels like the strongest he's ever felt.
Yeah.
exactly.
Hey, anybody else
I
hoping?
think this is the best he's played in
You
a
know,
while.
what?
It is.
You know what I'm really hoping happens? If the Rams win, I'm really hoping that Beckham wins Super Bowl MVP, and then he has a Super Bowl MVP, and he says, "Hey, Skip Bayless, I dedicate this to you."
That would
I
be
definitely
great.
think if they win, it's either going to go to Von Miller or like Aaron Donald because that's
Could
what it's
be
going to be.
Stafford.
I think if the game like
No,
I think if the Rams win, it's going to be because of the defensive line.
Oh yeah, I can agree. But
Could also be something you don't expect, like maybe Cam Akers comes out and runs for 200. Like,
It could
you
be
just
that.
never know.
You do, and you never, and that's why
Or
I'm
maybe
saying.
Joe Mixon does.
Exactly.
Gay is in there
Jeez, you've got a
finding
problem.
his way.
Dude, I do think
whole
that
game.
Joe Mixon, like I think the Bengals are ready for the amazing the rushing defense that the Rams have, and I think that Joe Mixon's going to be ready for it, and he's going to like try and figure out a way to get around it because this is
He can't,
this
though.
is one of his best seasons that he's
Yeah,
played in a
that's-
while. Like he's definitely.
Oh, yeah.
He's definitely been looked down on for the past few seasons, and then he came out this season looking amazing.
They're going to have a really hard time running the ball because their offensive line is not good.
Yep.
And
It's not getting outside.
Yeah, when you think
Yeah,
about
it's
the
not
fact
outside.
that the Rams just they stopped the 49ers rushing attack, 51 yards. The 49ers have a legit offensive line.
and
and-
Debo
It's
Samuel.
not even
They're a little
comparable.
dirty. They're a little dirty.
Yeah, and they hit dirty. They
I
hit
like
late.
dirty football.
Took my boy Jordan Fuller out. Alex
Football's
Mack.
soft nowadays.
Yeah.
And that's what happens
Fred
when you have
Warner.
a young team like the Bengals are going to play
But
soft.
With the Super Bowl, though, it is going to. I think it's going to come down to the thing that all the playoff games has come down to: special teams.
What is this deal?
What?
I don't get it. I don't.
Okay.
I don't get it. We got to leave all of it in now.
Yes,
church, by the way.
But with Matt Gay the Tampa Bay game and the San Francisco game, he looked a little off. He looked a little hurt. And if the game comes down to him, are we 100% trusting in him right now?
If it's inside of 50 yards,
And-
yes.
Yes, but-
if they need him to
What
kick
the
a long
announcers
one,
said last
don't
week
feel
with
good.
McPherson, they were saying how he's a rookie. He hasn't had that moment kicking him in the mouth where he's. I just missed that.
Yeah, he hasn't had that miss
He
yet.
hasn't had that.
Because he don't miss.
He's a very confident kicker.
He don't miss.
He's going to miss.
What kicker have you ever seen a rookie at that? Tell the quarterback on the sideline,
Yeah.
well, I guess we're going to the AFC Championship.
And see, that's
Their
the
whole
part of
team
that,
is
like,
running off adrenaline.
that's
One
part of
team
that, like,
messes up
arrogance
once
that I think
in
the
his
Bengals
head.
have going for them.
That's what I'm saying.
It's self-confidence.
No.
They need
There's
that.
a
They
fine
believe.
line
fine
between
line.
self-confidence and arrogance,
And
and
they
they're
have, they're
flirting
on
with
it. They're on it, and they are self-confident.
And that's what I'm saying. Is I'm hoping that the Bengals go out there and let's say they get shut down because they got shut down against the Chiefs. You could tell some of them were definitely deflated in that game, but once they came out of halftime, they looked amazing. You could tell, and you could tell there's a different look in Joe Burrow's eyes when he was looking. It was just-
Self-confidence is embracing your flaws.
Yes.
They aren't doing that.
No.
They're thinking they're good in every
Because
aspect.
a team always resembles their quarterback.
Yeah.
Always. Look at the Cardinals. Kyler Murray. How'd you say he is? He's a great first half quarterback, second half,
See, at the beginning of the season, he played amazing. That team played amazing. Second half of the season, he didn't show up. The team didn't show up.
Who?
They're out of they got snuffed from playoffs because of it.
Now let's
Yeah,
look
but
at the Bengals.
the Rams, they don't need their
Joe
quarterback
Burrow.
to be great to win.
The
Yeah,
Rams
they
don't-
just need him to.
If Matt Stafford plays mediocre,
Yeah.
I think Rams still can win.
They just need him to not
Remember,
get in the way.
there will always be some sort of Detroit Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford. So.
I'm
Yeah.
not going there
Okay,
anymore.
Christian.
No, don't be me.
Listen.
I did that. I
Don't be
screwed
that
up.
guy.
We're not going there.
Don't be that guy.
Don't be me. But again, though, you brought up a point, though. You said that the Bengals need to envision that, entitle that underdog mentality, like the Eagles did. Well, there's a big difference right now, though. When the Eagles and Patriots played, the Patriots were 12.5-point favorites in that game. Biggest Super Bowl favorites ever. The Bengals are looking at the spreadsheet, and because it's in LA, and I don't know if you guys know this about spreads, but you automatically give the home team 3. And even though the Rams aren't technically the home team, and I still don't know if they 100% have home field advantage, it is in LA, so it gives them a slight edge. So you automatically give them 3 points. The spread is only 4.5. So what Vegas is really telling you is, we only think the Rams are 1.5 points better.
What Vegas is telling you is what people are betting,
Yeah.
because the spread moves based on
That's
how much
what
people
I'm
are
And,
saying.
betting.
and honestly,
Like the Bengals
honestly,
aren't-
Cincinnati fans are diehard fans. If they've stuck with the Bengals this long, they're going to stick with them
Yeah,
forever.
they're riding.
Yeah.
The Bengals aren't like,
Unlike me.
I don't think they're like, we really, like, you ask their players all week, media week, they're not like, yeah, just been not doing good in this part. They're just like, oh yeah, I'm that guy.
And you know what
I'm
else
that
you're seeing
guy."
that's interesting? The Rams defense, like any Rams player I've seen talk about Joe Burrow has done nothing but talk him up. It's
Exactly.
done nothing but kind of like
Bill
boost him.
Belichick strategy.
Your head's
And I
getting
think
filled with
they
all this
want
air.
that. Like I think they want him to come in feeling good, and then want to smack him around that first drive and have him go, "Oh crap."
Oh, the thing that
This is
baffled
something
me-
different.
The other cool thing is,
To the
though,
game.
Ramsey, he was the one player I was afraid that might give like a little like trash talk that might give the Bengals some motivation. Ramsey, I could argue, he's been their most calm guy. I mean, he's been saying about 5 words press conference. He's giving 1-word answers. He's like,
He's there because he won't get fined.
I think Ramsey he hasn't made his signature play yet in this playoffs, and I've got a hard time believing they're going to go all the way through without him making it.
how much would you love it? 28-24, we get Super Bowl 49 all over again. Burrow throws the ball on the 2-yard line, and who picks it off? Jalen Ramsey.
I don't think it's going to get
I don't think anyone will do
close.
that again.
I don't
no
think
one's that
That's what I'm
dumb.
saying. Is if it's close, I think the Bengals will pull through.
I think
but
if
the
it's
Rams-
close, the Bengals have a slight edge because of the kicking game.
yeah.
Because of McPherson's got like 60-yard range. I'd feel comfortable.
This team is so.
But
like
Gase
both these teams are so similar with each other. Like they're both amazing teams going into this. Obviously, the Rams are better with their defensive line being absolutely full of veterans that know what they're doing. Like the Rams are the favorite for the game, obviously, but both teams go in and they're just so similar in their fashion. They both have great quarterbacks. They both have great receivers. They both have good defenses. They both the only thing that's different is the defensive line versus the offensive line. The Rams just outplay them there. So when we're over here arguing
That's a
about
big aspect you can't overlook.
and exactly, and we're over here talking about how
The game
Evan
starts in the
McPherson-
trenches.
about how Evan McPherson can change the game or how Matt Gay can change the game. It's gonna come down to that defensive line, offensive line, and it's just
And that's why I think the Rams have the biggest advantage.
Exactly.
All playoffs, they have dominated both sides of the trenches. And if they can keep it up for one more,
And
I
you
like
wanna hear
their
this
chances.
stat no one's ever heard before?
let's hear it.
This whole playoff run, every team I've rooted for, the Rams are the only teams that's won. So that's why I'm rooting for them now.
But
That's
here's
right.
another thing.
That's the scientific fact right there.
But here's another point that I'm going to bring up, though, and it's about the Bengals. You keep saying they're 10-7, right?
Yeah.
But
Regular season, they were 10-7.
Burrow, they were really 10-6. Burrow didn't play the last week. And when was the last time they lost with Joe Burrow?
I don't know.
They haven't lost a game with Joe Burrow under center since November.
And they were playing
I
who?
haven't played anybody
They're
impressive.
playing Lamar
besides the
Jackson's
playoffs.
backup.
They beat the Chiefs in the regular season. They beat the Ravens twice. They beat the doors off the Ravens twice.
But
didn't just
weren't they playing
Yeah.
his backup, the one?
Huntley? Huntley's a good quarterback, though. You were making a case for
well, I would say
8 weeks
I
ago,
would say
you were-
But he's not Lamar
listen,
Jackson.
I would
You were
say
trying
the
to
only
say he was
reason.
better.
He's the better thrower of the football, yeah, but he's not Lamar Jackson.
Listen, I would say that the only reason the Ravens aren't in playoffs is because of coaching errors. Because they won't kick the field goal,
Yeah.
they only go for the twos.
no, I think they're only not in because Lamar Jackson got hurt.
No,
he would have pushed him across.
He
Because
got hurt.
they went for that. They went for a 2-point
Lamar.
conversion 3 weeks in a row, and they blew it every single time. And I think
whole
that's the
team got
reason
hurt
they
in
are not
preseason.
in playoffs instead of the Bengals, or even the Pittsburgh Steelers were in playoffs. I think they could have. I think they could have snuck in if they
They were
had kicked
definitely
the
better
field
than
goal.
the Steelers.
And
Yeah.
Lamar has that game-changing ability with
Yeah.
his legs.
Not in the playoffs, though.
He definitely does. He definitely threw it in the playoffs. Every time he's made it to the playoffs, he hasn't made it past week 1 or 2. Like it's just.
But I think
The only quarterback that's never beaten the playoffs was Ryan Tannehill.
Ravens would have been in the
Carson Wentz
playoffs
Yeah.
if Lamar hadn't gotten hurt.
I think they would have
Okay,
made.
I can agree with you there,
I can agree with that too. But I also think that if they didn't
They
make those
probably
coaching
would've taken the
errors,
Steelers spot.
Yes.
I think that they didn't. I didn't think if they didn't make their mistakes 3 weeks in a row of trying to go for the 2-point conversion instead of just
Yeah.
kicking a game-winning field goal.
Well, here's what that, though. People say that, and I understand where you guys are coming from.
Dude,
But the reason they did that every single week was they were getting hurt so much in the secondary. John Harbaugh is looking like this. We can win the game right here, right now. Or do I want to give it the chance?
Or you can lose.
Or you can
There's-
lose and then get
there's
snuffed
so
from playoffs, and now
Yeah,
all
we're
your
going to lose anyway.
all
It
your
was
players are
Aaron
so-
Maybe you're going to get
No,
the ball.
'cause listen, if
maybe
they-
you're going to win the coin flip.
Listen,
There's so many
listen. I watched that Green Bay game.
chances.
They burned the time amazingly against Aaron Rodgers because everybody knows not to give Aaron Rodgers too much time because he'll just
In the regular season.
he'll just play an amazing ball if he gets too much time.
It's
So they
not
burn.
snowing.
Oh, my goodness.
Negative degrees outside.
They burnt the time amazingly. If they would have kicked that field goal, and then the defense could have just shown up and played just great against Aaron Rodgers because, I mean, as long as you just put pressure on Aaron Rodgers, I mean, he's going to throw the ball deep, but all you got to do is cover Devontae Adams.
Yeah, that's why once he's in Indianapolis, he'll have no pressure when he wins Super Bowls. That's just how.
Definitely going to the Broncos.
No, he's coming to.
Tennessee.
Stop ruining my dreams.
Going to the Packers. Spoilers.
I feel so bad.
Why
for
would he leave?
Christian. Literally,
Except
up
for
and
he
left.
sucks in the cold in the playoffs. So
Yeah,
maybe
that's what I'm saying.
why.
He's going to the Broncos.
Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson. That's all I need.
But
I can't do another year, Carson. Give me Derek Carr. Can we have Derek Carr?
Hey,
please?
little short
Derek Carr-
Russell Wilson.
Derek Carr is never leaving Vegas. I'll
Listen
tell
to
you
this. I've heard that Russell Wilson, the Eagles rumor today.
Oh, my
If I'm the Eagles, all 3 first, take them. Give me Russell Wilson.
I would take-
Absolutely,
exactly.
agreed.
Look at the
Russell
Rams.
Wilson would give the-
Exactly.
Look at the Bucks.
Because look-
those teams grab the better quarterback and they're in the Super Bowl.
You play
Eagles. Do
You
it.
play Russell
Don't
Wilson for the
hesitate.
first half of the season. He gets a season injury that he gets every year, and then he'll
But he's
come
not going
back.
to play Aaron Donald anymore.
True, but also he'll come back and he'll come back, and if he starts playing bad, throw in Jalen Hurts. It's just if you get Russell Wilson,
Did you just say Russell Wilson always has a early season injury?
not an early season. I'm just saying he has an injury during the
At
season.
some point during the year.
Yeah.
He's
He
been
has
getting
never
dinged.
had an injury before this past year. When has
He's
he
been
got
getting
hurt?
He had whiplash 3 years ago, and then after that he threw it.
He's been getting dinged.
He had to wear that stupid face mask because he's injured. or
Him and
something.
Donald hurt each other.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he always
He's
gets
the
one injury
tough
during the season,
quarterback.
whether it's a minor or a major
Like
injury,
Wentz.
such as the finger one this
Right.
year.
I didn't hear what you said.
Said he's tough. I'm like,
But if he got to the Eagles, he'd be playing with the first really good offensive line he's ever played with.
Not to mention, Devontae Smith would finally be able to live up to his potential.
Somebody finally thrown the
I
ball.
like
and
Hurts
Rager,
too
honestly,
much
him
to
and
try to
Rager.
bring another
So would
quarterback
Arcega
in.
Whiteside.
Give him another year.
Give Hurts to
Arcega
the
Whiteside.
Seahawks.
You got
Arcega Whiteside
Goddard.
finally get a quarterback.
You got Goddard. You got Miles
First
Sanders. He would if
season.
Russell
Yeah.
Wilson. If we just get any sort of Pro Bowl quarterback, I think the Eagles can make.
I'm telling you, if I'm the Eagles, I'm
Far.
calling
argument,
up.
wait, Ezra, though, you just said stick with Jalen Hurts.
Give him another
I don't
year.
care how
People
many
give up
years
too
you
easy.
develop Jalen Hurts. He's never going to be Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
He's
you
not gonna
can't
be Russell
develop
Wilson.
arm strength.
Yeah.
No,
Name
he is.
one quarterback
Listen,
that's ever
Russell.
gone from a
Listen,
weak arm to a strong arm.
Jalen Hurts is
You
a
need
great.
strong arm to be successful.
Listen, Jalen Hurts is a great quarterback. Don't get me wrong. He knows when to
You
move.
need
He
accuracy
can run
to
the
be
ball.
Successful.
He's not accurate.
The only
Yeah,
issue
you can fix accuracy.
you can figure. The only issue.
But
that
why
Jalen-
would you worry so much about fixing accuracy when you don't have arm strength?
Jalen Hurts? The only issue that Jalen Hurts really has is the
I want
arm
another
strength.
QB controversy.
And another, then trade
Don't
Jalen
trade him.
Hurts.
Put him in the deal.
It's not that hard.
The Eagles need to take a lesson from the Rams. The
Go
Rams
all
could
in.
have Rams could have easily just stuck with Jared Goff, who was good, but he was never going to be Matt Stafford.
And you know, Tom Brady would be in another Super Bowl.
And people criticized him. Yeah, the Bucks could have just kept going with Jameis Winston, but they were like, "Nah, we're going to go to Tom
Hey,
Brady."
the last three teams that have gone right in for the quarterback have won. Broncos with Manning. Then we had the Brady Broncos, and now we have the Rams Stafford. When a quarterback moves, they're more
Brady
than likely.
Broncos.
Oh, my bad. Oh, goodness. Brady Buccaneers. The Bees, man. The Bees. Yeah. Christian blunder of the day.
I think that yeah, if the Eagles could definitely go for a.
It's flashing.
It's fine. We got 6 more minutes.
I think that the Eagles could definitely go for a big quarterback and make it to the playoffs again. I mean, they're definitely not
Get
like
Rodgers. I would like Rodgers.
they're definitely not a bad team. Like they made it to playoffs this year. They weren't even like the 8th seed this year. They were very comfortably like 4th seed or whatever they were.
And I think another reason Howie Roseman would do that deal, Roseman still views the biggest mistake of his career as when he passed up on Russell Wilson in 2012.
I think Jefferson should.
Well, every team in the league passed up on Russell Wilson.
Every team in the league. We also
But he chose Nick
Multiple
Foles
times.
over Russell Wilson.
the Eagles also passed
Nick
up on
Foles won the Super
Jefferson. They
Bowl.
passed
Yeah,
up
but
on,
once he
but they
came
don't need
back-
more receivers to be honest with you.
And another thing is with
No, they definitely need another.
They wouldn't have had to waste all these picks on receivers. They'd have just gotten it right.
True.
hey, Jalen Reagor is a great receiver, just not in Philadelphia.
No, he just needs a
receiver of hate.
quarterback.
That's all he gets.
He needs a
Yeah.
quarterback. Jalen Rager is great if he runs down the field.
Actually,
He's
But
gonna
he doesn't
look
have a quarterback
real
that can throw it
good
down the field.
in blue and yellow next year.
I
playing for
disagree,
them
though.
Rams.
I mean, he can be good in blue and yellow. I agree.
He's gonna be
His
great
one
playing
problem
for
is,
the
though,
Rams.
if you ever watch, he's a lazy route runner.
He is.
Stop
He's
it.
a
That's why
very-
I'm saying.
You're
That's
just
why I'm saying
disrespectful.
What
run
do you
him.
mean? Watch his routes. He runs.
They look
routes like
lazy because he
on the
knows his
couch.
quarterback can't throw.
Listen, if you look, Jalen Rager, let's say he's lazy on the routes, run him straight. If he just runs on a straight line, it's not a lazy route. It's a lazy route that he can run easily, and then all he has to do is catch the ball. If he gets a good quarterback, then he could run a good route, such as a slant, and get an easy throw
When
over
he
the
did
middle.
have a quarterback his rookie year that could throw a ball over 10 yards, he did look a lot better than he did.
That's what I'm saying. Is if the Eagles get a quarterback, they could make it.
Even though the Giants game, I mean, we all remember that Giants game. Didn't Jalen Hurts put the ball in Reagor right here twice, and the man looked like Nelson Aguilar versus the Falcons all over
See,
again.
Nelson Aguilar played a horrible 2 years, and then came in and showed up for a
But
year.
Aguilar always took the credit himself. Reagor's always trying to push it on other people. That's Reagor's problem. That he doesn't have good accountability.
So anyway, Rams going to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I think I got Bengals.
Yeah.
Riley's going Bengals.
Yeah, I got
Rest of
Bengals.
us are saying Rams.
Hey, I will not be.
It's gonna be a good
I
Super
think we all
Bowl.
agree, though. None of us would be shocked if the Bengals win.
I think
would
that
be.
it is going to be. It's not going to be because you go into Super Bowls the past few years. You go into Super Bowl, even the Eagles Super Bowl. You went into it saying the Patriots are going to win, or
Well, last
this
year-
person's going to win.
Not this guy.
Last year's Super Bowl, everybody thought the Chiefs were going to win.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying like
I
most
said the Bucks were going to win.
the past few Super Bowls. I
Everybody
mean,
called me crazy.
the past few Super Bowls, you go in looking at it, you're like, this team is not going to win. There is no way that the Eagles beat the Patriots or the Eagles beat Tom Brady, and they did it. But there's no you're going into the Super Bowl saying there's no way that this guy wins. So this year, at least, we're going into the Super Bowl saying it could be either team. There's just one factor that will
I'm not
change it.
saying that. I think Rams are going
That's
to win
because you're a
easy.
Rams fan.
They're going to win easy. They're
I went into-
better in every facet of the game.
I went into the 2018 Super
Except
Bowl
for
saying
the
the Eagles were going to win. I mean, it's just because you're a fan of the team.
Hey, I was going 2018 Super Bowl hoping the Eagles.
I'm objectively saying the Rams are going to win easy because they're just better
I'm
in
not a
every
Rams fan.
place.
I'm unbiased here. Besides, I like Gay, but I think
We know.
Rams
I don't have a team.
So, if you made it this far, congratulations. Good job. Thank you. Give us your pick. down in the comment section. Let us know. Who do you agree with? Are we right? Are the three of us right? Or are you going to be wrong with Riley?
And don't forget to like and subscribe.
That's right.
Thank you for watching this episode. Until next time.
To be continued. Oh, man.